Hello everyone, I'm Sandy Peckinpah and I'm a writer and a coach, and I help women define a clear and strategic plan so they have clarity and confidence. Oh, hello, NSSVN. Thank you for joining me. I'm here to tell you that I help women define a clear and strategic plan so they have clarity and confidence in pursuing the second act of their lives. I'm also a writer's coach. And thank you, Sugu. Thank you for joining us. I'm so glad that you're here. Today has been a long day, and I meant to get on Periscope a little earlier, but I'm going. And whoops. There we are. Hi, everyone. So again, I'm Sandy Peckinpah, and I'm a coach. And B. Graydon, thank you for joining me. I'm so happy. I seem to have a few more viewers today. This is day 5 of my personal challenge to get on Periscope more often. And because I want to share my stories, and I want to share my stories about finding personal power and finding your strength after great big life challenges, because we all have them and we all wonder, how are we going to get through them? And for me, it comes with a huge amount of awareness of the resilience that we have inside of us. And what gives us that strength? Hello, EB5809. Hello, thank you for joining me. Where are you from? I'm in California, so it is, what time? 6:56, so it's about 7 o'clock, and just in time for me to have a glass of wine I'm just about to have. And I am so glad that you're joining me today, because I have a lot to share. So there are a lot of Periscope mentors that I have that I want to sort of give a shout out to, because they're so inspiring and I've learned so much from these people. Michael Cinquino, for example, he is a terrific person and coach on Periscope, and if you're not following him, please start following him. Another is Bonnie L. Frank. She's been a terrific influence on Periscope for me, because she talks about the nuts and bolts of being a woman in business, and actually she coaches men too. And there's another one, Alex Pettit, who is, he's probably 23 years old, but he is totally a tech guru and has helped me so much to learn about Periscope. So my personal challenge has been to share my story with you in hopes that it will somehow bring some awareness to you that there's life after those great big challenges. And so to share with you that my story is that I thought I had a fairy tale life. I actually did have a fairy tale life. I had a wonderful home in Los Angeles, and my family, my husband and my 4 children were everything that I had ever hoped for. We were in show business. My husband was a writer and producer of television series and movies, and he wrote and produced several television series, including Beauty and the Beast for CBS with Linda Hamilton and Ron Perlman, and Silk Stockings with Rob Estes and Mitzi Capture. It was on USA Network for 7 seasons, I think. Sliders was a big one with Jerry O'Connell, and it was on for many seasons. My husband produced and wrote that as well. And he also wrote one big blockbuster, Man of the House, with Chevy Chase and Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Farrah Fawcett, and then several television movies. Well, what being married to David did for me, and sadly David passed away several years ago, but what he did was he taught me about being a structured writer. And because I've always loved writing and I'd always written. And so what David Peckinpah taught me was how to make writing not only my passion, but my purpose, and how to do it every single day. And that's what I hope my scopes will do. Oh, we have 10 viewers. Wow, thank you. I so appreciate you joining me today. Again, I'm just talking about my personal story, and I want to hopefully give you some insight and some tips on getting started writing your own book and your own story, because every person's story has value and purpose, and it's uniquely your purpose. It's uniquely your value and your imprint on the world. And that's why it's so important that you share your legacy with others. And so what I'm talking about, I'm Sandy Peckinpah, by the way, and my website is sandypeckinpah.com. And what I'm talking about is how important it is that your story have meaning and purpose, and that you share it with others so that you imprint yourself in the world. At the end of your life, you're no longer saying, thank you for joining me. 11112346. Thank you for joining me. I so appreciate it. And hi, nice to see you. So, I have some hearts too. Thank you so much. I'm thrilled. Tapping the screen gives me hearts, and those were all pink hearts. So thank you. I really appreciate it. But anyway, my story is this, that I thought I had a fairy tale life, and when I really thought I had a fairy tale life, I remembered this moment. I'm in Southern California, and I remember this moment so clearly when my husband and I were at the Emmys, and our television show had been nominated for an Emmy. It was Beauty and the Beast on CBS with Linda Hamilton and Ron Perlman. And I remember thinking, I have it all. Wow, this is everything. Oh, from Turkey. Well, welcome. I remember thinking that I have it all. I have everything that I've ever dreamed of. And then I was pregnant at the time with my third child. And I remember that within, we were at the Emmys, I think it was in the summer of 88, and in 1989, my daughter was born in January, and she was born with a cleft lip and gum. And I thought for sure that my life, I had never had such a shock. And so I thought, wow, what happened to my fairy tale life? Am I going to get over this? Am I going to really make it through this tough time in my life? And so what I did was I started thinking about a story, and how is this my story, and what can I do to help her get through this tough time? And I thought if I wrote a book that I could take it into the schools, and I could start helping other children understand. All right, let me see. I could help students understand what it's like to feel different. And so I did that. I wrote a book, and my best friend is Melissa Gilbert from Little House on the Prairie. And we went into the schools and we started talking with kids about feelings of being different. And I wrote my book, and and it was published, and I was very proud of it because it did make a difference in people's lives. And kids would ask me about my daughter's scars, and she went through several surgeries, and they were tough times. But somehow the book gave her a calling card, a way to talk about her differences. And today she's just beautiful. She has, through the gift of gifted surgeons, she has a beautiful face and mouth, and I'm so proud of her today because she is everything I hope she would be. But I learned the importance of writing a book and how a book can help change lives, because I got lots of feedback from that. And so what I want to tell you is that don't leave your book inside of you. Don't get to the end of your life and say, I wish I'd written a book, because I can't tell you how many people, when I say that I'm an author, say, I've always wanted to write a book. Well, don't be that person at the end of your life saying that you haven't written your book, because it's in there and it's ready. There's a story in every one of us, and your story has meaning and purpose to the world. Trust me, it really does. So why do you want to write a book? Here are a couple of things that you might resonate with you. First of all, is your heart telling you? Is your heart speaking to you and saying you want to write a book? Is it sort of a whisper? Have you said it before? Have you said, I wish I could write a book? The second one is that it's your legacy. Your life is what you're leaving behind, and the imprint that you've made with people. And so if you have it in a book, it's something to be proud of. It's something that can change lives. A book also gives you credibility in your business. I know for me, when I mention that I've written a book, credibility scale goes, way up, because people look up to people who have collected their thoughts and written it down and given it and put themselves out there in a vulnerable way to help others. And that's what your memoir can do, is that it can help others in such a big way. I think it's such an important tool that we all have if we just write. The next one is that you're just a story away from the next chapter of your life. When you write your book, you have an insight that is huge on the meaning of your life and your purpose. So it's important that as you go through the chapters that you look at what did your life mean and how does it all fit together, and you'll surprise yourself, because sometimes when you think little incidents in your life didn't have a purpose, boy, they come rearing back and all of a sudden you see how it all fits together. So my 8 insights for getting your story going. The first one is intention. Have the intention to write your story and don't give up on your dream of writing a book, because that will give you, the intention is the activator. So number 1, have the intention to write your story and really commit to it. You know, there's an author, Stephen Pressfield, who wrote a book called The War of Art. And in that book, he said the hardest thing to do is to sit down and commit and get your butt in the chair. Well, that is the hardest thing to do as a writer, I can tell you. But over the next few weeks, I'm going to tell you about some of the things that can help you get into the chair and start writing, because I've learned them not only from my own personal discipline, but also from my husband, who wrote every single day of his career. So that leads me to number 2, is create a time and space. And what I did was I actually created a time and space in my calendar for writing. So I wrote every day as soon as I got home from work, from 4 o'clock to about 7:30, and I calendared that into my day. And once you put it on a calendar as a date, you're more likely to do it. I do the same with my gym workout, is I put it on my calendar. So I don't book anything at that time, because I know that that's where I need to be, is at the gym at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I need to be writing at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Everything else happens in between. So then that item number 2, create a space and time. And by creating a space, that means clear your desk, get ready to write. Don't have bills piled on your desk, because you're going to get distracted. I know from having done it myself, is clear your desk, really set the intention to write, which was item 1, and start writing. Number 3, give yourself self-imposed deadlines, because when you say, I'm going to finish my book in 4 months, that gives you a sense of urgency, and you're going to do it if you commit. So give yourself a self-imposed deadline. And you can even say, what will happen if I don't finish my book in 4 months? Give yourself a reward. Like say in 4 months after I've finished my book, I'm going to go on a cruise, or even, visit a friend in Northern California or something. But make it a deadline, because deadlines create a sense of urgency. Number 4, I'm going to give you a tool for getting to the heart of the story, and I create this for my coaching clients that I help with writing. And this is so exciting. So write this down, because this is how you're going to get to the heart of your story. And you start just by writing a paragraph. You're going to be saying, number 1, think about your story, your life. This is where I was. And for me, it was, I remember when I thought I had a fairy tale life, I was at the Emmys thinking everything was great. And so then number 2, so number 1 is, this is where I was. Number 2, this is what happened to me. So I could say, 4 months later, my daughter was born with a birth defect, and it toppled my world upside down. I had no idea what to do. Number 3, this is how it changed me. It encouraged me to write. It changed my focus on life. I realized that what I wrote had the power to change lives and perspective. Number 4, this is where I am today. Today, I'm a published author. I've written several books, and actually my most recent book is an award-winning book. So today I feel that I've accomplished my goals and continue to create goals to help people realize their dreams and understand how important writing their story is. So that's called the Heart of the Story technique. Number 4, Heart of the Story. Start writing just a paragraph by saying, this is where I was, this is what happened to me, this is how it changed me, and this is where I am today. So number 5, every good story has a deep, dark forest, which is something that happens to you, a challenge, a hero, and triumph. Every fairy tale has it. So think about your story in that perspective. And number 6 is, who's the most important character in your story? Guess what? It's not you. That's the secret. The most important character in your story is your reader, because your reader is infusing his life, his opinions, her life, her opinions into your story and how it relates to them. So the most important character in the story is not you, it's your reader. So those are my tips for today. I'm going to be talking more about writing and actually resilience and the power that you have to stand up and overcome whatever you've had in your life after loss or divorce or challenges. I promise you there's a great life waiting. And remember, your power and your legacy is in your story. It's uniquely you. You are unique to the world. No one else is like you. So start writing. Thank you so much for being here today, and thank you for the hearts. And I want to just share with you, that's my website. I read a lot of blogs about resilience, writing, overcoming challenges. It's sandypeckinpah.com. And would love to have you join me, and I'm going to be doing another scope tomorrow because it's my personal writing challenge. My personal challenge is to do scopes on writing for the next several days in a row. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I so appreciate it. Big shout out to all of you that joined me today. Bye-bye.